it was quite interesting because I came to the country in June 2000 and we didn't have any offices. We rented a flat in Norfolk Towers. There was all of us in this office. There were 5 of us from Vodafone at the time. And, you know, we had one driver, and this is where we started the whole business. And, you know, we started just with these very few people. And we inherited, you know, a network from Telkom Kenya, and we were about to take on Telkom Kenya staff that were going to be transferred from the Safaricom division, as it was then, or department, into Safaricom. So it was a very inauspicious start. Yeah, I think in 5 years' time, or even less, I see this being as a telecommunications company, and with data being a big proportion of our revenue, because we are, we have until 2008, we were a mobile company. 20% is going to come from fixed data devices in the future, and it's going to continue to grow that way. Because if you look at Kenya, and you look at, first of all, the availability of internet access to the average Kenyan is very small. Less than 5%, maybe 10% sometimes people say, have access to the internet. Our literacy rate is very high, over 60%. We have a literacy rate of over 65%. So that means that our population can use the internet, but we haven't been able to give it to them. And I believe that's what's going to drive us. I think we're heading for a data revolution. Once again, for me, for my company, for me, it's in the consumer. Yes, in the consumer, of course, corporates will play a big part in it, and I am in all the top 200 corporates. I probably have 98% market share, but I think in the consumer markets where the data revolution is going to come.
What is the tipping point for that revolution you're talking about?
I think around below $200.
Internet-enabled.
Internet-enabled device, not an internet. To be more specific, a netbook, a laptop,
yes.
Netbook type device. Data enabled. I think when it drops below $200, I'm saying between $150 and $180, I think that's the tipping point.
From my perspective, I look at it and I think Safaricom is a bigger story than sometimes we really appreciate. And for me, it's a huge story. I couldn't have come home and plugged myself and done the things I'm doing today without them.
Who are we? Most of you, well, you all know Safaricom, which is why you're here. But our intention is to leverage the strength of our people, our innovation, and we have a history of innovation here in Kenya, and the reach of our technology. We are the most technologically advanced company in the country in order to drive social and economic change. Of course, we drive financial performance. But the thing which differentiates Safaricom from most other mobile operators around the world is the impact that we have made in terms of creating social change here in Kenya.
Revenue last year, full year, was up 16.4% without putting any numbers. Are we on trajectory here for a similar outcome, do you think?
There's certainly headwinds. We give some guidance at the full year, and we're sticking with those guidance. Okay, so we're pretty confident.
That was pretty confident guidance.
Yeah, so we're not expecting to see much in the way of variation there.
People love your stock because of the dividend, including my father. And say he will kill me if I don't ask you. He says, is his dividend intact?
The dividend is, we've kept a bit of money back, so we're paying out 85%.
Yes.
So I don't see that that's going to have a dent in the dividend. The dividend is a progressive dividend policy.
Yes.
And we expect to pay more next year.
Yes.
I mean, it's not the time to be declaring dividend, but we expect to pay more next year than we did this year.
Excellent. Well, that's sufficient.
We've often said that M-Pesa is not a banking product.
Yes.
It supplements and complements banking products, which we've done with KCB and with CBA. But in itself is a payment product. Lipa na M-Pesa is taking more, Lipa na M-Pesa, which is the merchant payment system, is taking more than 50% of all the electronic payments in the country today. We were a little bit lazy for a little bit too long. When I first took the reins, I remember Michael saying to me, what we have to drive now is mobile data. And I think we were a bit slow in picking that one up. So last year, mobile data grew by 43%,
yeah.
something like that.
Yes.
And we were pretty pleased with that, because that was kind of the first time we started to see that inflection point. But actually, when we looked at some of our partner networks, when we looked at the South Africans, for example.
This is Vodacom.
We realized that actually our performance wasn't that good.
Yes. But were they starting from the same level as you were?
No, they started earlier, but they were still seeing year-on-year growth, which was higher than 43%. And so, as a team, we kind of went back to it and said, no, guys, we're being a little bit lazy. And so we're pushing much harder on mobile data this year. The half-year results will be announced in about 6 weeks' time, and so you'll see how that's panning out. But the real things which are driving that is smartphones.
Thank you.